Pepe! Yes, Ryan, Ricardo Pepe, the hero down in Honduras, saving the U.S. men's national team with the biggest performance we've seen from a young player and from the number 9 position in general in a long time. We're going to break it all down here on Stars and Strikes, the road to Qatar 2022. Let's go. Well, now we're getting to that next video, Ryan. Obviously, the international window now is done. 5 points in 3 games for the U.S. men's national team. All the players are going back to their clubs. And we started this club window with a bang. I know this probably hurts you a little bit, but how about PFOC? 95th minute game winner in the Champions League for young boys against Cristiano Ronaldo and Manchester United. Ryan, I was really excited about it. I know you probably weren't quite as excited about it, but hey, striker scoring goals in big moments, a U.S. men's national team player doing things on the biggest stage.
Oh, man.
Let's go. Sign me up.
Oh man, if you're listening on podcast form, you can't see me shaking my head right now, but that's I don't even know what to say. You know, I was watching the game, and I told myself, you know, if PFOC scores, I can't be too hurt about it. Obviously, I love my team, Manchester United, but man, that is just a huge occasion to score. And at the end of the day, I want my boys, my United States boys to do the best they can, especially on the big stage in Europe. So I could be Manchester United through and through, but Jordan PFOC take a bow on the biggest stage imaginable, playing for young boys against one of the European giants, Manchester United, getting a winner in that occasion. I can't be mad about it. It's cool to see. Hate to see my team lose, but cool to see nonetheless.
Yeah, and then across the Champions League, Weston McKennie came off the bench in Juventus's 3-0 victory over Malmo. Giovanni Reina is going to miss out. Well, I guess that game's happening right now. He's still missing out due to injury for RB Leipzig. And then right now, Tyler Adams is set to start against Manchester City, which is kicking off in about an hour from a recording time against Manchester City. He's playing in that defensive midfield role, a role that I think we both agree he is at his best. So a lot of things going around across the European landscape in regards to U.S. men's national team players.
Yeah, no, you know, it seemed like almost, you know, last year we had like a huge, you know, insane window with so much going on. I don't think we had that many huge moves this year, but it's still good to see a lot of the guys, a lot of the smaller guys make smaller moves over to Europe, just the first stepping stone. And as far as the bigger names, we're going to have to continue seeing them step up. I mean, now we have Josh Sargent in the Prem as well. So what do you make of his first games, his first 3 games going on? Obviously, Christian Pulisic hasn't had that much of an influence or impact yet with Chelsea as they brought in Romelu.
He scored on the opening day and then went down with an injury. It seems like the injury thing for Christian has just been, he just got to stay fit. And obviously the injury has right now had nothing to do with him, but he just got clobbered by a Honduras defender. So hopefully he'll be able to, you know, shake that off and get back to the best. It looked like it was just an ankle sprain, so he should be fine. And hopefully that's not a lingering thing. Josh Sargent, I think he's been Josh Sargent. He scored his first couple of goals in the League Cup a couple of weeks ago. But outside of that, he hasn't got a ton of service. He's playing for Norwich. We know that they're not, the best team that there is out there in the Premier League. They're doing a lot of defending. And for him, I think he just got to buckle down and try and earn a starting spot in that team because he has the talent to do it. He can be a complete striker. He just needs to put the chances away when he gets the opportunities, because in the Premier League, especially with a team like Norwich, you might only get one opportunity in front of goal and you're just going to have to take it.
Yeah, and it's almost disappointing that the situation with Norwich is pretty similar to what he had in the Bundesliga. You know, we were hoping for this opportunity to be kind of more beneficial for him, to kind of get closer to goal, work with some more attacking players and a more attacking team. But at the end of the day, it still is Norwich. So kind of running into the same problems that he did last season. So far, no success, but regardless, I think he's in a good spot to kick on and build himself up. So it's only 3 games in as well. But on the note of Christian Pulisic, if he doesn't start getting a hold of the injury problem soon, I think it could be worrisome for his Chelsea career. I mean, now they have Romelu Lukaku, Havertz, Ziyech, Werner, and I think that just the competition thickens and thickens in that attacking 3, and for Christian Pulisic to keep struggling with injury, do we think that level at Chelsea is where he should continue, fighting for?
Absolutely. I think he's proven that he can play at that level. Like we said, the fitness is the one thing for him. And that's something that can come with age. He's still a very young player. We can't forget that. He's still trying to figure out how to play in the Premier League with the heavy fixture list. Not to mention, we're coming off and we're still in a little bit of a COVID period where the games are coming so fast, thick and thin, that these players aren't used to it yet. They're playing so much that they don't really have any time to recover. And I think he's going to be fine. We see the talent. When he's on the field, he's electric. He's one of their most influential players. And yeah, it's just, you just got to really just hunker down and hopefully he can stay fit. And some of that is on Chelsea and some of that is just, maybe not taking quite as many fouls. I think that's a big part of his game. And it's going to happen in CONCACAF because players are chopping him down. We saw him get hurt. And that's just the reality of it when you're that level of player in that quality of competition.
Do we think, fighting for a spot over at Chelsea is worthwhile as opposed to maybe taking a step down, maybe going to a different Premier League club, a developing team, maybe like Arsenal or someone like...
I think that would be a terrible move. No, I think he is a player that is good enough to be at that level, and he needs to be playing with those players in training every single day. He needs to be playing at the highest level because don't even talk about Arsenal. Let's not.
I think what I'm trying to get at is,
I know.
Think the lack of game time with
I think it's been proven that when he's fit, he's in the team. That's the thing. When he's fit and he can get a run in the team, he shows that he's good enough to be in that team. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. He just has to recover from this injury and keep going, because he started off the season in the starting 11, scored a goal, then got hurt. And then he goes back, gets fit, plays pretty well, comes to the national team, gets clobbered, and boom, he's out again. And it's disappointing, but you know what? It is what it is. And you just gotta take the punches and get back in the gym and get back on the treatment table and get better every day.
That's something that a lot of big players have had to deal with, going in and out of that injury state and then coming out on top. And I think Christian Pulisic has shown that he could do it before, and I think he'll probably do it again.
Yeah, let's get into some transfer news, dude, because we got a couple more that we haven't talked about yet. Chris Richards, Bayern Munich defender, of course, on the deadline day, going back to Hoffenheim on loan. Last season, we saw him quite a bit. He played really well at times, especially for Hoffenheim. And he was a player that I was very surprised wasn't in the World Cup qualifying squad, because honestly, I think he's a player that really should have an opportunity to try and get into the starting back 2, back 3, whatever Greg decides to do, whatever thing crazy he does. But I think Chris Richards, a young defender that really should be getting more of a look.
Yeah, and I think, like we talked about earlier, just the constant of John Brooks, given the occasion that John Brooks does step down, that's going to pave way for another young center back. And I mean, we have Miles Robinson, kind of taking that role right now in the second position. But not to say that there's not plenty of opportunities for a center back. I think Chris Richards is going to be definitely one for the future, one to keep developing. And without a doubt, I think he had to.
Not only do I think he's one to develop, I think right now there's a shout that he's better than the likes of Mark McKenzie and Miles Robinson and Matt Miazga. Chris Richards is a very good defender. He's comfortable with the ball at his feet. He's positionally very, very aware. He was superb for Hoffenheim last season. We saw him play in the Champions League. We saw him play in the Bundesliga. I think he's really a player that should have been in that squad and should have been in contention for one of those spots. And I think for the next camp, if he's not in there, I'd be very shocked. And maybe part of the reason that he didn't get called in was the whole thing regarding his transfer and trying to get back over to Hoffenheim on loan, whatever, all goes into that. We didn't see Matthew Hoppe, another guy who just got a move over to Spain with Mallorca. The biggest reason he was probably not on the team was because of that move over to Mallorca. And while we're on the topic, what do you think of his move to Serie A, or excuse me, La Liga?
I think it's a good move for sure. I think it's his impact at Schalke was good, but that team is, you can only do so much.
They're down in the Bundesliga too, and he needs to be playing at a higher level.
Absolutely. That's and I think it's hard for me to say whether or not Spain will suit him early on. I think Bundesliga, if you were able to stay in the first division of Bundesliga, would be ideal for a player like him because of how defensive and how strong, how hard it may be
and just
as an attacker in Spain.
And the track record of young players getting opportunities and being developed over in Germany. Spain doesn't quite have that, but for a player like him, where he's comfortable on the ball, he's able to cross, he can play a multitude of positions across the front three and in attacking midfield. I think he'll do just fine in Spain. I think it'll be a good opportunity. He's still playing for a club that he'll be able to get into the starting 11. He'll get good minutes playing in one of Europe's top 5 leagues. We'll get to see him play against the likes of Real Madrid, Atletico, Barcelona. So I think it's a good move for him because he's still going to be playing at a high level. He's getting out of the Bundesliga too, getting away from Schalke, a club that's in an absolute just pitfall right now. And I think it's a good move for him. And I'm excited to see what he does in a Mallorca shirt. And
he wears Mallorca shorts too, so that's fine.
Mallorca shorts, whatever. It's a little bit of a tongue twister. Mallorca, whatever. Anyway, Matthew Hoppe's going to be playing over in the Liga. And then a quick little shout out, Venezia signing a third American, Jack DeVries. I believe he's only had 13 or so minutes of first team action for Philadelphia Union, but a third American getting signed this summer by the Italian Serie A club to go over there and develop himself over in Italy.
Dude, I don't know what's happening over at Venezia, but it's looking fun. I won't lie. I mean, we have 3 Americans over there now, at a brand new Serie A club. I mean, if you want to talk about, getting a shot to make a name for yourself and developing, there's not much better occasions than that. I mean, I think Italy, as opposed to Spain, I think Italy is a better place to go if you're young and developing, just because of how football is played over there as well. But being in a new team where the expectations are low, there's you're not around that many superstars either. You can be a superstar as well. Not to say that any of these guys may, but I think Gianluca Busio can definitely stand out given this occasion. Apart from the other 2, I think this is going to be great for the 3 of them as well to be together. But at the end of the day, talking about a brand new Serie A team too, that's cool.
And when you're talking about Gianluca Busio and Tanner Tessman, both of them have been involved, especially Busio. And he started the last 2 games for Venezia in Serie A. One of them was a win against Empoli, and another was a 3-0 loss to Udinese. And he's played 90 minutes in both of them. And then you got Tanner Tessman, who since he's come over, he was on the bench for 2 games and then came off the bench against Napoli. There are 2 players that have been already involved. He played, he also got an appearance in the cup round win against Frosinone. So these are 2 players that are young American midfielders that are getting an opportunity over in Serie A, which is a good place to develop as a midfielder. And shout out to Venezia for giving young Americans opportunities over in one of the best leagues in the world.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool to watch, without a doubt, watching them both together at a brand new Serie A team. It's fun already with Busio. He's played both of those games, like you mentioned, and he's done well both of those games. So looking forward to seeing what else he has to offer for them, and how that Italian crowd grows to support him.
Yeah, we're going to have a couple of guys playing in the Europa League, including Conrad De La Fuente, hopefully getting the start tomorrow for Marseille. Thank you guys all for joining us. We got a lot of guys A lot of things happening all over across Europe and in MLS. We're back into the swing of things. World Cup qualifying is back in October. We can't wait. We'll be with you the entire time. Thank you all for joining us. For Ryan Deeb, I'm Chaz Messman. See ya.
Peace, guys. Have a good one.